My name's Amber Williams, and this is my video interview for my leadership management class.
Okay, so tell us about yourself.
So, I knew I was interested in healthcare when I was young, and I did my community college thing, trying to get my associates in science. And in that time, I did a volunteer program at Children's Health where I was stocking the OR, and I was ordering things through supply chain, and I really just liked the feel of the hospital, and I liked being there. So I knew that's why I wanted to pursue a career in the health field.
Okay. And where do you see yourself in your career in 2 to 3 years?
In 2 or 3 years' time, I'll still be generally a new nurse. So at that time, I'm really just going to be focusing on perfecting my nursing skills and being able to assess patients and intervene, and maybe getting some more autonomy in the field, but really just bettering myself in that profession at the time.
And what are your strengths?
Strengths, I would say I'm a really hard worker. I'm always one of the first ones to step up and help, and I really advocate for my patients, and I always try to look at the best solution to problems.
Okay, and what about weaknesses?
Weaknesses, I would say I have trouble asking for help when I need it sometimes. I very much like to do things on my own, um, not necessarily because I think that I can do it the best, but because I just like knowing what has been done, what hasn't been done, and I know that sometimes you have to be able to delegate and have other people help you.
Okay, and tell me about the most difficult patient service experience you've ever had to handle, perhaps an angry or an upset patient.
So, when I was doing my critical care rotation in the hospital, I had a patient who was in congestive heart failure, and he was on a water restriction, sodium restriction, um, on a special diet, and it was like no matter what we did, he was just completely unhappy. It was like every time we went in, me and the nurse, he would just get so mad, and he would yell, and he would demand water, and he would demand for us to get him ice cream. And so as a student, I really just tried to do the education part and just tell him, I'm very sorry, like I can't get you this. You already hit your water limit, or let me talk to your nurse and see if there's anything I can do. But there was just nothing we can do. He was just going to be unhappy. So really, I just tried to make him as comfortable as possible and just try to explain to him why I couldn't do the things that he was wanting.
Okay, and what was the outcome of that? Was he okay with that?
Oh no, he was not okay with that. He was pretty upset. He was very verbal about how we didn't check on him, we didn't care about him, but really, what looked like punishment to him was just what we had to do in order to keep him safe.
Okay, and please describe a situation that required you to complete a number of things at the same time. How did you decide what was most important and what was the result?
So in my current job now, I'm a unit secretary on the floor, and I go back and forth sometimes between the ICU and the inpatient floor, especially at nights when it's only one person. So I was working both floors one night, and we just so happened to have an admission come on both the ICU and the inpatient floor at the same time. So when things like that happen, you really just have to think about, okay, which one takes precedent? Which in this case, it was the ICU. The patients were critical, they need things to be done faster, so I had to kind of set the inpatient floor aside and focus on the ICU floor, which, with enough communication, it's fine, because I just called the charge nurse up on the floor, on the inpatient floor, and told her what was going on, and she was able to find someone to take care of it up there. But really, I had to look at what was more critical in that time, which would have been the patient arriving on the ICU. So I had to put the stuff on the inpatient floor aside.
Good.
All right, that completes it.